right, so this is our weekend preview segment. We're going to do one of these every single week, basically, throughout the summer and fall. There's going to be enough good racing to talk about every single week, obviously with Saratoga opening its doors now. We got a bunch of good stuff to look forward to this weekend. It really starts off on Friday with the Grade 3 Lake George for 3-year-old fillies on the Saratoga turf. But Saturday is a monster day, both at Saratoga and mainly at Monmouth. I think Monmouth, this is their day to shine. We've got multiple Grade 1 races. Obviously, the TVG.com Haskell is the biggest prize on the card. But we've also got the Grade 1 United Nations, which looks like it's going to get a pretty good field. We've got the Grade 3 Monmouth Cup, the Grade 3 Molly Pitcher, the Grade 3 Matchmaker Stakes. At Saratoga, we've got the Coaching Club American Oaks and the Caress. And also, don't want to leave out across the pond, we've got the King George, which is Saturday at Haskell, and then we've got the York Stakes as well. So definitely some action on both sides of the Atlantic. Bill, John, what are you guys looking forward to the most?
Well, obviously the Haskell, and that's because not only is it an important race on the calendar every year, but I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll keep saying it until I'm proven otherwise. I think Jack Christopher is a really special horse. And, as good as he's been coming into this race, this is the most important test by far of his career for a couple of reasons. The primary ones are this. It's his first test at anything at a distance. I mean, he won last time out at 7 furlongs. Start before that, a mile. He's never run around 2 turns. And, the only hole you can possibly poke at him is to say that, he's unproven at a distance. Now, being unproven at a distance and can't run a distance are two very different things. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't run a 1 1/8. He's by Munnings. The pedigree is fine for the distance. And I want to see him go out and put on another big show again, like he did in his other races. And, so the 3-year-old division is going in 2 directions, one to the Jim Dandy, one to the Haskell. So the Haskell is not getting a handful of really important horses that are going to the Jim Dandy, or maybe skipping the Jim Dandy, waiting for the Travers, like Charge It, the other Chad Brown horses, Early Voting, and Xanon. But you do in Taba have a horse in there that, it's going to, if Taba runs his race, no reason to think he won't. That's a big test for Jack Christopher. Granted, he ran 12th in the Derby, but before that, remember what he did to win the Santa Anita Derby in your second career start is a tremendous achievement for this horse. He's obviously a lot of talent in there. Nothing wrong either with Cyberknife, White Abarrio. Those are legitimate Grade 1 winners, both of them. So the Haskell came up very strong, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Jack Christopher can do. The same day, the Coaching Club at Saratoga, well, we already got our subject for the next week's show. We can talk again about the small field. It looks like there's going to be maybe only 4 horses in there. But, if there's going to be 4 horses, you might as well have a race where it has some something to really sink your teeth into. That's one of the things about these NYRA races. With the small fields, they still had some really good horses in there. So you have the rematch from the Kentucky Oaks of Secret Oath and Nest in there. Secret Oath wins the Kentucky Oaks. Nest is second. I got to think, though, that the momentum is more with Nest at this point, despite that, because, as much as we admire what Secret Oath has done and the campaign she's had, the 4th in the Preakness was just kind of okay. I mean, it really wasn't that. It was not one of her better races, whereas Nest is coming off a 2nd place finish in the Belmont, where she really ran well. I got to think actually the Nest will be the favorite, and in most respects the horse to beat.
It's a great match race, and also if Society, who's a daughter of Gunrunner, and Butterbean, who's a McPeak entry, also make up the rest of the field. The Coaching Club is going to be a really interesting race, and 4-horse fields never excite us. But certainly there are, a couple of very legitimate horses in this race. And it's not just a match race between the top 2. I don't remember, guys, the last time that you had 2 fillies like Secret Oath and Nest that were both coming off running in a Triple Crown race, entering the American Oaks. That's very unusual in my mind. I don't remember the last time that happened. Bill, maybe because you're a better.
It's got to be unprecedented, John. Yeah, I don't think it's ever happened.
Yeah, so that's another exciting angle of the whole thing, is that they're going from not only running against the boys, but they're running in Triple Crown races, where one finished 2nd and one finished 4th respectively, in the Belmont and the Preakness, and now they're coming, I was going to say mano a mano, but filly a filly in the Coaching Club. Bill, you went over a number of the horses in the Haskell. It looks like it's going to be not a star-studded field, but certainly a very solid field with some of the horses you mentioned. And I was never really a White Abarrio fan, but the horse doesn't miss a dance. I mean, they've run him in basically every single prep for the time he was a 2-year-old in the Kentucky Jockey Club race, to the Holy Bowl, to the Florida Derby, the Kentucky Derby, and now the Ohio Derby, and now the Haskell. I mean, the horse has run in a number of races and has run well. Other than the Derby, was first, second, or third in every single one of those races. So White Abarrio, quietly is becoming a very solid horse that dances every dance. Jack Christopher is going to be the one to be excited about, see if he can handle the speed favoring racetrack to his advantage. Taba, you mentioned, coming back into the barn of Bob Baffert. And if We the People does end up running in the race, again, another horse that is, aspiring for greatness and is on the improve, and hopefully we'll show it in the Haskell. And Joe, the only thing I'll take umbrage with you on is that you said, the big races start on Saturday. How about the Rick Violet, the New York bred Rick Violet, tomorrow at Saratoga? It's going to be a rematch between our Coinage and Dakota Gold, who ran against each other in the Breeders' Cup turf, the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup juvenile turf. Neither of them hit the board, but they still ran against each other. And now they're coming back, and their paths are crossing again. This is like, Ali and Frazier, and as Bill would say, Alidor and Affirmed. I mean, this is going to be quite a controversial kind of race if Coinage and Dakota Gold go head to head, all the way through, for this very important New York bred stake race.
Yep, clear the front page, guys, at TDN. We want Coinage and Dakota Gold on the front left. But no, best of luck to John and DJ Stable in that race. Just wanted to run down some of the horses and the races you guys didn't mention. In the King George, we got Mishriff. We all remember winning the Shima Classic and the Saudi Cup last year. That was an incredible double. He was second in the Eclipse Stakes. He's going to face off against Torquator Tasso, who had that big upset win in the Arc last year, and also Westover, who was the Irish Derby winner, is going to be in that race too. So there's shortish field, but a 1.5 mile classic. Obviously, it's going to be a phenomenal race. In the United Nations, we got a little bit of a rematch of Defoe and Tribhuvan. Tribhuvan obviously had that monster performance in the Manhattan, best race of his life. We'll see if he can pick that up. He won the United Nations last year, so he's defending his title. Should get like 9 or 10 horses in that race. Looks like we're going to get a big field in the Molly Pitcher. In the Haskell, I'm putting out a new Better Things tomorrow, so I don't want to spoil my handicapping thoughts too much. But I'm into Cyberknife. I think Cyberknife is kind of the now horse. I think obviously Jack Christopher and Tabor are going to be tough, but I think that there's a decent chance that they hook up a little bit early and set it up for a horse that's just a little bit off the pace. So I'm interested in Cyberknife in that race, but I think, all eyes are going to be on Jack Christopher. This, the Bill makes the right point that this is the big test for him, just to see what he can do for the rest of the year, whether or not he's a really brilliant 7 furlong, 1-turn mile sprinter, or if he can go 1.25 miles. The question needs to be answered, and hopefully it'll be answered this Saturday. Like I said, I hope that we get a little bit of a tussle early on in that race. I don't want a grab fest. I don't want a New York turf grab fest where Jack Christopher pops out to the front and everybody else just rides for second. I want to see a real clash in that race, like we're going to see in the Coaching Club, American Oaks, as you guys mentioned with Nest and Secret Oath, and also in the Chuvie, which is on Sunday. I think we're going to get that another rematch with Clairiere and Malathaat, who put on a show in the Ogden Phipps on Belmont Day, and that was the best race of their life that they each ran. So it'll be interesting to see if they can back that race up. You also have Bonnie South in there, search results. Probably going to be another short field, but I think we'll get some star power in there. So yeah, I mean, if wagering wise, I think Monmouth is the place to be this Saturday. I think it's going to be a really good card. I think you can have some good multi-race bets. I don't think Jack Christopher is going to be a shortish price, but he's not going to be 2 to 5. I think that you can make money even if he wins in the multi-races, in the exacta or trifecta, if you get a price underneath. But yeah, then we also got some star power at Saratoga as well. Big weekend across the pond. Big weekend here. Del Mar, of course, opens on Friday. We don't want to miss that. Del Mar has a handful of stakes opening weekend, and we salute Del Mar. They do a lot of great things, and in terms of safety, they also have big fields, and obviously it's going to be packed house on Friday at Del Mar. Still haven't been. That's one of the tracks now that I need to get to. Now that I've crossed Keeneland off my list, got to get to Del Mar one summer. So TDN, hopefully we can figure out a way to get us there for a live show or something like that. Just an excuse for me to get to Del Mar. Hint, hint, Sue Finley. All right, so yeah, that's tons to look forward to this week. I'll be back next week to wrap it all up.